At the time of this recording, America is approaching the almost inconceivable number of 200,000 deaths as the world approaches almost a million deaths. That puts us at 20% of the world's deaths. Hi, I'm Dr. Brian McDonough. We know that the virus is problematic. We also know that Americans, in fact, people throughout the globe, are frustrated by how the toll this has taken and the amount of time that it slowly but surely is chipping away, eroding at our world, whether it's financial, social, family interactions, people with an inconceivable loss of death in their own families. All of these things are adding up. But as this is happening, one thing is happening in the United States that I am extremely concerned about. I will not point fingers because I don't think it's worth it at this stage. But we right now are in desperate need of a unified scientific voice, someone who we can trust, who speaks on evidence, logic, and most importantly, truth regarding science. Because what is happening is we have all sorts of people with their opinions, their theories, their secondary gain, all of these issues coming to play in a media that is extremely diverse. Remember, 20, 30 years ago, we had certain voices that were trusted or at least had the opportunity to speak to most people. Now we have a plethora of voices. Literally anyone can do exactly what I'm doing, and they can have their voice heard. They can work on their secondary gain. They can work on ways to make money. They can have political ideology. They can have a million reasons to talk. But what happens is, because there's not a centralized voice and a centralized trusted voice, Americans are breaking down and don't know who to believe. This is even more concerning to me than the virus, in the sense that when it comes time to mobilize, we may not be able to do it. When it comes time to have a vaccine that actually works, we may only have 50 or 60% of the population trusting the vaccine or believing the vaccine should be taken. In other words, when you lose trust and you lose the ability to have an opinion that matters, everyone is in the wilderness and everyone suffers. This is not a case where a scientist is giving advice about the proper diet that we should eat. Because in those cases, if you choose to take the advice, you will hopefully do better. If you don't, unfortunately, you may not do as well. But with a vaccine, you need everyone to buy in, because if they don't buy in, it doesn't work. A vaccine will not work if people don't buy in, because you won't get the false protection that a vaccine provides in the population enough that it works. So when it comes time to motivate everyone to take a vaccine, my fear is we don't have the trust. Now, how do you rectify this? Honestly, I think what you need is you need one point person, whoever that is, who is not political, who has no secondary gain, who's not worried about the election in one form or another, not worried about making money on a vaccine. Someone who ideally is a scientist, who knows how to communicate health information, who has a regular position giving advice to the country. Until we have that, I am afraid that what we're going to do is continue to kind of walk through this wilderness, and we're going to have more deaths. We think 200,000 is a problem. I am very afraid of what's going to happen in this fall. I'm concerned about the fact that we may not be able to mobilize and be able to do the things we need to do because, again, people are frustrated, their tempers are getting worse, and they don't trust people. Without trust, this virus gets even more powerful.